Hello everyone, this is Professor Wood. Welcome to week 3 of Educational Leadership. I hope you're all doing well. I know a lot of you had grades due last week, and that can be stressful. I had grades due last week as well. Please make sure that if anything becomes overwhelming, that you take the time to contact me, and hopefully I can alleviate some of that stress for you. A few announcements before we get started on the lesson today. Remember that we won't have class the week of Thanksgiving, so take that time to relax, unwind, be with family and friends. Also, if you've been checking the announcements, I hope you have. You noticed that I've already put a couple of things about DB questions. Please make sure that your DB response for question 1 and question 2 is posted on or before midnight on Thursday night. It's very important that this question is posted on time because we can't have face-to-face conversations. We don't get to see each other in a traditional classroom. So those collaborative conversations that we have through those threads are imperative and integral to this class. So please make sure that you post by the deadline. Also remember that your peer responses are due on or before Sunday midnight. Once again, we need that collaborative conversation. Also, I've noticed that several people have not been checking their feedback on the DB responses. I always write feedback to your questions, sometimes both, sometimes one, and especially if something is incorrect in the response, I will leave feedback and then ask you to correct it and then email me when you have so that I can regrade your assignment and give you your points. So if there's anybody at this point in time that has a 0 on their week 1 or week 2 questions, please make sure that you read your feedback. Usually what ends up happening is that you forget to reference your articles within your response and you forget to cite your sources at the bottom of your response. And so please just correct those things and then email me and let me know that you have, and I will go back immediately and grade that and give you your points. Also, I'm sure you noticed on the announcements that I put a checklist for your 90-point movie analysis. I'll do this for all of the big assignments. It's just a breakdown of the rubric, really quick, just bullet points with where you're getting your points for each section and what you're being graded on. And that way you can just go through your essay after you've written it, check off, check off, check off that you've covered everything and that it's completed. For those of you that are going on in the future to do your national board, they actually have it set up so with those bullet points, you just write them in to your essay responses, and that way whoever's grading it can just see that and immediately look for that information. If you want to practice that on the assignments here, that's great. I would love to see that. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's go over your assignments for this week and just make sure that you are on task. So we have your writing assignment is you're going to begin conducting your interviews for your leadership interview project due week 4. I'm going to be putting a video up on Monday or Tuesday just clarifying that project as well and bullet points again of the points breakdown and just making sure you're on track with that. You were supposed to read Chapter 8, Foster Collaboration, and Chapter 9, Strengthening Others in the Leadership Challenge. There's also PDF, Leadership in a Permanent Crisis. And the media is a YouTube video, Are Leaders Born or Made? However, I checked the video on Saturday and it was unavailable. I contacted the technology department and hopefully we're going to get that fixed. I will make an announcement and send an email to all of you as soon as possible, as soon as I know what's going on with that. And also you should be continuing on with your reading reflection journal at this time. Okay, so in our chapters this week, it's talking about fostering collaboration and climates of trust and providing choices and coaching and all of these things. And on page 219, under Create a Climate of Trust, it says, however, we can't happen without trust. It's the central issue in human relationships. Without trust, you cannot lead. Without trust, you can't get people to believe in you or in each other. Without trust, you cannot accomplish extraordinary things. Individuals who are unable to trust others fail to become leaders precisely because they can't bear to be dependent on the words and works of others. They either end up doing all the work themselves or supervising work so closely that they become over-controlling. that really hit me, that statement, and it was because of a conversation that I just had with my significant other, Stephen, last week. He's a project manager, and his field manager is a new field manager who's really stressed out and having a hard time trusting other people to do work. And Stephen was just telling me the story, not realizing this was going to connect to our educational leadership in any way. But the guy was complaining about one of the the subcontractors who had poured the concrete, and this wasn't in this position, and this wasn't in this position, and he was really getting worked up about it, and Stephen was trying to calm him down. And the guy just kept saying, it's all wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And Stephen finally said to him, he goes, well, is it wrong? Like it won't work? Or is it just not the way you would do it? And the guy kind of tripped out about that, and he just said, it was just not the way that I would do it. And Stephen's like, okay, well then let's figure out how to make this work. And that's something that I had to learn in teaching and in life too. I was always the person that had to do everything, make sure it was done right. And Stephen saying that reminded me that right for me doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for everybody else, and that there's all different ways of doing things. And being a leader and creating trust means that you trust somebody enough to handle the business and handle it their way. Now, that doesn't mean you just throw somebody into the loop and say, do this, and expect this wonderful outcome. If they don't know what they're doing, that's going to be a problem. But being a good leader is being a team player, a good delegator, giving away your power, finding out what people are good at, and putting them in that position so that they can shine and add to the group. I'm very fortunate. I teach in an academy that we are all very interconnected. Our academy is arts, media, entertainment, and social scientists. So all of the teachers, the core teachers, are artists, and we teach through the lens of the arts. So if I'm looking for a certain project, I always bring it to the attention of my colleagues, because I know that they might come up with an idea that's way better than mine that I hadn't even considered. And that they all have this expertise that they can share with me to help drive my teaching and to make me a better teacher and a better lesson for the students. And the same goes if we're working in our SLC, just collaborating to make our SLC better. We all have come forward and we all have strengths that we bounce off of each other. And because we are all working as a team, our SLC has become a very successful team in the district and in the state. So I don't really like going to district meetings. That's not one of my strengths. It's not my favorite thing to do. But I love doing all of the graphic designs for brochures, recruitment. I love handling social media. I love running our YouTube channel. So here's all of these things that I'm willing to do, and then somebody else is willing to do the district meetings, report back on changes in Common Core or collaborative conversations, which we were talking about today. And because we all trust each other to get our jobs done, it really works. And you all know that when you have somebody looking over your back or not trusting you or wanting you to do it their way, you don't really have much buy-in to their vision. You feel put upon, and you feel that your professional opinions are not being valued. And that doesn't make for a climate of trust. Also, the other thing about creating trust is that these people truly care about me outside of the classroom, including my principal. They know that I do my best in the classroom, that I give with all of my heart, but they also know at this point in time in my life, I'm the sole caregiver for my 87-year-old mom. We live about 2 blocks away from the school. So the nice thing is if things are going awry, there's people there that are willing to cover me and help me. And just ask every once in a while, is everything okay? Is there anything you need for your class? Do you need to go home and check on your mom at lunch? And that makes all the difference. It makes me want to give my whole heart and soul to my school. Another page that I thought was really interesting was on page 247. Let me go there in my book. And on 247, under Provide Choices, it says that researchers use the term organizational citizenship behavior to describe those actions that employees take that are above and beyond their job descriptions or task requirements, that make the difference between ordinary and extraordinary individual and organizational performance. And that's another thing that I like about my school and adds to buying into my principal's leadership, is that he allows us, once again, just like I was talking about in our SLCs, our strengths, to have choices how we want to support and benefit our students in our school. Some of us like to tutor at lunch. Some of us like to be involved as chaperones at events. Some of us like to coach. And by putting us in the positions that we love, it creates more buy-in because we're doing something that we want to do, and we see that that person is valuing our professional judgment, once again, by allowing us to make these choices about how we support our students and how we support our schools. On 250, okay. I love where it says, if you want higher levels of performance and greater initiative from your constituents, you must be proactive in designing work that allows them latitude, a close cousin of choice. To feel in control of their own work lives, people need to be able to take non-routine action, exercise independent judgment, and make decisions that affect how they do their work without having to check with someone else. It means being creative and flexible. I love that, the way they describe that about a leader, because it's true. Liberated from a standard set of rules, procedures, or schedules. And that's basically what I've just described to you that I've been fortunate to have in my last 12 years at the school and in the academy that I am in now. And the last page that I want to look at so that your weekly lesson doesn't get too long is page 266 about coaching. It says, strengthening others involves paying attention and believing that people are smart enough to figure things out for themselves if given the opportunity and provided with support and coaching. Remember what I said earlier about you can't just throw somebody under the bus and go, hey, figure it out. Coaching stretches people to grow and develop their capabilities, and it provides them with opportunities to both hone and enhance their skills in challenging assignments. As I was talking about National Board, some of you might already be coaching, some of you might be involved in BITSA, some of you might already have your national board. And what I found was when I started coaching BITSA and when I started coaching national board, that I could strengthen another teacher's skills by just believing that this teacher was smart enough to figure things out and letting them know that they were smart enough to figure things out. A lot of times, new teachers in particular become very overwhelmed, and they just need somebody to have their back and go over lessons with them, or help them think of ideas to make connections to these lessons. And you can see the relief wash over them when they don't feel like they're being judged, or they don't feel like they're being made to feel stupid, which sometimes people in leadership positions have a way of talking down to others that make them feel really uncomfortable to come back and ask for help again. And I think one of the things that we have to remember as a leader is that we have to take ego out of it, and we have to be humble, and that we have to be able to share storytelling, once again, which we see all through the Leadership Challenge. We have to be willing to share our experiences when things may have gone terribly wrong and somebody else had to help us to make them terribly right. And so I thought that was really interesting and right on the money. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the readings this week. I will keep you posted about the video. If you have any questions about anything, please contact me. I'm always available, and I'll be making some more phone calls this week, just checking on people again. I know I've already said hey or left messages, but I just want to stay in touch and make sure you guys are okay. Have a good week. Bye-bye.